I want you to just imagine a specific kind of panic.
Okay.
You're the CFO of a huge multinational corporation. I mean, billions in revenue, subsidiaries in countries you've never even visited, and a supply chain that wraps around the globe 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the end of the fiscal year. You have to sign off on the financials. You have to put your name on the line and say, yes, this is all true. The money is where we say it is.
And that's the moment, right?
Yeah.
Where you realize just how much you're relying on, well, faith. Because you can't personally check the bank accounts in Singapore.
Or count the inventory in Brazil.
You're trusting a process.
Right. And for the last 100 years or so, that process, that faith, was built on people. An army of auditors in suits drinking bad coffee, sitting in a conference room.
Physically checking receipts.
Exactly. But we're looking at something today that suggests that era is, well, it's effectively over. The army in suits is being replaced.
It is. And it's not just being replaced by better calculators. It's being replaced by something that can, think, plan, act even.
Yeah.
We're talking about the shift from human-led sampling to machine-led scanning.
So today we're doing a deep dive into a really compelling piece of work by Johan Steyn. It's titled The Algorithm of Assurance: AI Agents in Modern Audit. It was published just this year, 2026.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason we picked this one is that Steyn he's not just hyping the tech, he's sounding a very specific kind of alarm about what happens to truth when we hand the verification process over to an autonomous agent.
What stands out in Steyn's analysis is that he moves past that usual AI will take our jobs narrative.
All right.
He's interested in the quality of the assurance itself. So if an AI checks 100% of your data, are you actually safer? Or have you just built a very expensive high-speed illusion?
That is the core question. But before we get into the doom and gloom, because I know you love the doom and gloom.
I do.
We have to clarify what we're actually talking about here. This isn't just a macro in Excel. Steyn uses the term agentic AI.
Right. And that distinction is vital. Agentic is the key word for 2026.
Okay, so define that for us. How is an agentic auditor different from, say, the software we were using 5 years ago that just flagged duplicates?
Well, think of the old software as a train on a track.
Mm-hmm.
It goes from station A to station B. If there's a tree on the track, let's say a data format it doesn't recognize, the train just stops.
An error code.
Throws an error code, yeah. It waits for a human to come move the tree. It has no autonomy.
It's rigid. It does exactly what it's told, and if the world is messy, it just breaks.
Exactly. An agentic system is more like an off-road vehicle with a driver who has a map.
Okay.
If there's a tree in the way, it assesses the situation and it thinks, okay, I can't go this way. Can I go around? Should I find another path to the destination?
Right. So in an audit context, what does that mean?
It means the AI doesn't just match invoice A to payment B. Let's say it sees a payment that doesn't quite match the invoice date. A standard script would just flag it. An exception. An agentic AI initiates a sort of chain of thought. I might say, okay, the data's off. Let me check the shipping manifest.
Right.
See when the goods actually arrived. Oh, the ship was delayed.
Wow.
Let me cross-reference that with global weather data for that week. Was there a storm? Yes. Okay, this delay makes sense. I'll mark this as verified and add a note explaining why.
So it's creating its own task list. It sees a problem, reasons through it, acts on it, and then reflects.
Precisely. It closes the loop without a human ever touching it.
Okay, I have to play devil's advocate here because that sounds, well, incredible. I mean, if I'm an investor, isn't this exactly what I want? You said the old rhythm of auditing was sampling. Humans just checking a few things. This thing checks everything. Why should I be worried about a machine that's that thorough?
And that's a fair challenge. On paper, this new rhythm, which Steyn calls scanning, is objectively superior to sampling.
Right.
You have to remember, the human constraint was always bandwidth. If a company has 10 million transactions, a human team might check, 50?
Yeah.
100.
Yeah, standard sampling sizes are shockingly small. You check 50 items, and if they look good, you just assume the other 9,900,000 are fine.
Right.
It's statistically valid, but emotionally, it feels like checking 3 rivets on a bridge and saying, yeah, the bridge holds.
That's a perfect analogy.
Yeah.
And that's where the agentic AI shines. It ingests the entire population of data, every single invoice, every purchase order, every bank transfer. It can find needles in haystacks that humans wouldn't even know were haystacks.
Okay.
Steyn admits this. For messy, high-volume data like a retailer with millions of tiny sales, this is a godsend.
We have 100% coverage. We have efficiency. We have consistency. The AI doesn't get tired. It doesn't get bored. It doesn't have a bad day. Where's the trap?
The track is in the difference between two words that sound the same but are not. Coverage and assurance.
Coverage versus assurance. Okay.
Coverage means I looked at everything. Assurance means I understood what I saw. And Steyn argues that just because the AI scanned 100% of the transactions, it doesn't mean it made the right judgment call on them.
So the dashboard could say 100% scanned, 0 errors, but that might be a lie.
It's not so much a lie as a misunderstanding. And this is what he calls the trap of the clean dashboard.
Okay.
Imagine you're the auditor. You log in. The AI gives you this beautiful, sleek summary, all green checks, no anomalies found. What's your psychological reaction?
Relief. I think, great, my job is done. I can go to lunch.
Exactly. You enter rubber stamping mode. You trust the tool because it looks so authoritative.
Yeah.
But why did it find 0 errors? The AI operates on patterns. It knows what normal looks like based on its training data.
Which is usually historical data.
Right. But what if the company changes its business model? What about a novel revenue model?
Okay, like a software company that suddenly starts selling long-term consulting contracts.
Perfect example. The cash flow looks different. The revenue recognition timing is totally different. To a human, this is obviously a new strategy that needs a whole different set of checks. But to the AI,
it just sees money coming in and an invoice going out.
the math balances. Debits equal credits.
Yeah.
The pattern, money in, money out, is there. So it marks it as green. But it misses the entire context.
Because the rules for that money have changed.
Exactly. It fails on these edge cases. Steyn highlights this again and again. Complex group structures, rapid changes in strategy, or even really specific fraud schemes that are designed to look like normal transactions. The AI looks for statistical outliers.
And if the fraud isn't a statistical outlier,
AI won't catch it. And because the dashboard is clean, the human auditor doesn't dig. They don't ask the hard questions.
Steyn had this line that really stuck with me. He says, the audit file looks stronger, but the thinking might be weaker.
That's the one. The thinking is weaker. It's terrifying.
It really is. It's the illusion of competence.
It's automation bias. We're hardwired to trust the machine, especially when it's complex. Think about your GPS. Have you ever followed it even when you sort of knew it was a weird route?
Oh, absolutely. I've turned down streets where I thought, this just doesn't feel right, but the screen said turn left, so I turned left.
In the audit world, turning left means signing off on a fraudulent account because the AI said it was low risk. You prioritize the screen over your intuition. And that leads us to the second, deeper crisis that Steyn identifies. It's not just about the audit happening now. It's about the auditors of tomorrow.
Ah, the death of the apprentice.
Yes, and this is a structural problem for the entire profession.
I found this part so interesting because it really challenges how we think about grunt work. You know, nobody likes grunt work. Nobody likes ticking and bashing and checking thousands of invoices by hand. We celebrate when robots take that over. But Steyn says we're losing something vital.
We're losing the learning curve. I mean, historically, how does a junior auditor learn to spot a weird transaction?
By looking at 10,000 normal ones.
Exactly. It's osmosis. You sit there for 2 years slogging through the details. You learn the rhythm of the business. You learn that, this shipping company always invoices on Thursdays.
Right.
Or that this particular client always has messy payroll data in December. You build a gut instinct, a nose for the business.
It's the wax on, wax off method. You do the tedious thing 10,000 times so the movement becomes muscle memory.
But now, the agentic AI is doing the wax on, wax off. The AI is doing the vouching. It's doing the tie outs. It's confirming the bank balances.
So the junior auditor is left doing what?
Well, that's the billion-dollar question, isn't it? Firms and Steyn mentions the big players, Deloitte, PwC. They're all scrambling to figure this out. They're trying to redesign their training. But the risk is that you create a generation of what Steyn calls operators.
Operators versus experts.
An operator knows how to run the tool. They know which buttons to click on the Audit Bot 5000, but they don't understand the underlying mechanics.
They don't have that skepticism.
None of it. It doesn't come from doing the work manually. They're like pilots who can fly perfectly as long as the autopilot is on. But the second the system fails, they don't know how to fly the plane.
And if the AI misses that novel revenue model we talked about, the operator won't catch it because they've never seen a revenue model up close. They don't know why it matters.
Precisely. They lack the accounting intuition to challenge the machine. And there's huge financial pressure making all this worse. It's not just that the tech is available, it's that clients are demanding it.
Right, the fee pressure. Steyn talks about this market dynamic.
Of course. If you're a client and you know an AI agent is doing 50% of the grunt work, are you going to pay the same audit fee you paid last year?
Absolutely not. I want that productivity gain in my pocket. You have to show me the savings.
Exactly. So the firms are being squeezed. They have to use the AI to lower costs and stay competitive. And that means they can't afford to have an army of juniors sitting around learning by observation if that time isn't billable. The business model itself is actively hostile to the old apprenticeship.
So we have this pincer movement. The technology removes the task that taught you the job. And the market removes the budget that would have let you learn any other way.
It creates a hollowed-out profession. You have very senior partners who learn the old way and very junior operators who just rely on the tools. But where does that next generation of partners come from? Who's going to design the audit logic of the future?
It sounds like we're just heading for a cliff. We're building a system that's incredibly efficient at processing data, but increasingly fragile at understanding truth.
Yeah.
Does Steyn offer a way out? Or is the conclusion just, good luck, hope the AI is right?
No, he's constructive. He proposes a shift in mindset, a new governance for the AI era. Yeah. And it centers on this really powerful mantra: machines expand coverage, humans expand challenge.
Machines expand coverage, humans expand challenge. I like that. Unpack it for me.
It means we stop competing with the machine on volume. Let the agent scan all 10 million transactions. That's good. We want that coverage. But the human's job is no longer to be a checker. The human's job is to be the challenger.
So you become the opposition party to the software.
Yes. You audit the algorithm, not just the data. Steyn argues for a whole new kind of audit trail. Traditionally, an audit trail is just a log of what happened to the numbers.
Okay.
The new audit trail needs to be a log of the logic.
So why did the AI flag this? Why did it ignore that? What thresholds were set?
Exactly. And crucially, what did the human do to stress test the AI's conclusions? Steyn says we can't just accept the AI said it's fine as a valid audit conclusion. You have to document your skepticism.
So something like, I saw the AI cleared this account, but given the market volatility, I manually sampled these 3 high-risk areas just to be sure.
That's it. It shifts the value of the human from accuracy to judgment.
It's the last mile problem.
The last mile problem. Steyn references all this hype around end-to-end automation, this idea that you can just press a button and the audit is done. He says that's a fantasy.
Why?
Because the last mile of assurance is always subjective. It's judgment.
Because business isn't black and white.
It rarely is.
Yeah.
Is a pending lawsuit a probable loss or a possible loss? That one word changes your balance sheet by millions. And AI can give you a probability score based on legal databases.
Yeah.
But it can't understand the nuance of the negotiation happening in the boardroom. That requires human empathy and ethics and context.
So the human becomes the specialist in the gray areas.
Yes. And Steyn argues that if firms can solve that training puzzle, if they can use simulations and war games and assess practice to teach juniors how to be detectives without all the grunt work, then the profession actually gets better.
It becomes a more interesting job. You skip the human photocopier stage and go straight to the investigator stage.
Ideally, yes. But it requires firms to stop viewing AI purely as a cost-cutting tool and start viewing it as an amplifier of human skepticism.
An amplifier, that's a good image. The AI turns up the volume on the signals so the human can hear them. But you still need the human to recognize the tune.
That's the perfect way to put it.
I want to zoom out for a second. We've been talking about auditors and CFOs, but this concept of agentic AI and this clean dashboard trap, this applies to everyone, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's universal. We're all moving toward a world where agents manage our lives.
Yeah.
You might have an agent managing your personal investments or your news feed or your calendar.
And the risk is exactly the same.
Yeah.
The clean dashboard in my life is my phone telling me you have no conflicts today or your portfolio is up 2%.
And you feel good. You feel safe.
Yeah.
But Steyn's warning is that silence is not safety. Just because the agent isn't flagging a problem doesn't mean there isn't one.
Right.
It just means that the problem didn't fit the agent's definition of a problem.
That really hits home. We are trading control for convenience. And in that trade, we risk losing touch with reality.
Convenience is the ultimate sedative. The easier it is to trust the machine, the harder you have to work to keep your own brain engaged.
So bringing it back to Steyn's algorithm of assurance, the takeaway isn't to smash the machines.
Wow.
It's to stop trusting them so blindly.
It's trust but verify, updated for the 21st century. Use the coverage, use the speed, but never, ever outsource the judgment. The moment you look at a clean dashboard and stop asking why, you're obsolete.
The moment you stop asking why, you are obsolete. I think that's going to stick with me. We've covered the shift from sampling to scanning, the danger of the rubber stamp, the crisis of the apprentice, and this need for a new governance of challenge. It's a lot to process.
It is. But it's the reality of the modern workforce. Whether you're an auditor, a doctor, or a lawyer, your value is no longer in knowing the data. It's in questioning it.
Well, this has been a fantastic breakdown. Thank you for helping us navigate the clean dashboard.
Always a pleasure.
And to everyone listening, here's my challenge to you for the week. The next time an app, a tool, or an AI gives you a perfect, simple answer, just hesitate for a second. Ask yourself, is it right or is it just easy? We'll see you on the next deep dive.